Excellent. Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second session in this English study group as a tutorial for the Malaysian Buddhist examination. Currently, we have 30 plus people here, but I suppose as after a few minutes more would be coming in. Okay, cool. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, you can see my screen here. Okay, cool. All right, welcome everyone to this English study group. This is the second session. We have about 2 more weeks left. I hope you have started doing at least one or a few sets of past year questions. All right, so later on there will be hopefully a few minutes for you to ask your questions. If you're encountering any difficulties or any doubts or any uncertainties in your practice of the past year questions, feel free to ask later on in the Q&A segment. Also, you can also ask your questions in the WhatsApp group. So some of you are already beginning to ask a lot of tough questions. Some of you might notice, right? Some of the past year questions might be a bit uncertain. So it's fine, right? You can ask a question in the group. So that's good. Or, you can WhatsApp me directly as well. You can PM me as well. Okay. So this is going to prepare you for the Malaysian Buddhist examination. However, I hope that the knowledge would not stop after the examination. I hope that you wouldn't just be learning the knowledge for the sake of the examination. I hope that you would also remember the knowledge and put it into practice, apply it in your lives, okay? As part of your Buddhist identity, as part of your Buddhist culture, your Buddhist practice, okay? Cool. Let's begin by paying homage to the Buddha. I'm going to chant Namo Tassa 3 times and you could follow along. Mute yourself, please, if you're here, mute yourself, please, if you're going to chant along. Yeah? Okay. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the Blessed One, the Perfected One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Okay. Now, for the examination, as we know, the syllabus is roughly divided into 3 aspects or 3 components. The Buddha, our teacher, the Dhamma, his teaching, his message, his principles, and the Sangha, the taught, the ones who were taught by the Buddha, the disciples who were taught by the Buddha. Now, last week in the last session, which is the first tutorial session, we covered the life of the Buddha from his birth until his enlightenment. Okay, so today we'll look a bit more into the Dhamma and the Sangha today. Okay, and then we'll do a short quiz and then there'll be Q&A. Okay. Now let's go into the Buddha, his life, his character, his message. Now, for the preliminary level students, preliminary stage students, you need to focus from birth until enlightenment. However, for the junior stage students, you need to also look at after the enlightenment of the Buddha until his parinibbana. Okay? So these are the 3 main events in the life of the Buddha that we celebrate on Wesak Day. We celebrate on Vesakha Puja. The birth, the Nibbana, the enlightenment of the Buddha, and the final passing away of the Buddha, the Mahaparinibbana. Okay, give me a minute here. Give me a minute. Okay, excellent. Now, we've covered this last week. So the Buddha's name was Siddhartha Gautama. He was born under the full moon of Vesakha that's why we call it Wesak Day, in Lumbini Garden, Lumbini Park. Yeah. All right. So his mother passed away, died 7 days after his birth, and was reborn in Tusita heaven. And then he was raised by his stepmother or his foster mother, Queen Mahapajapati Gautami. Okay. Now, as he was born, this one I told you guys did I tell you guys? I'm not sure. But anyway, if you had done some work, if you have done some reading, some revision for this, you will know that this was uttered by the baby, the prince, right? The Bodhisattva, before, right after his birth. Ago hamasmi lokasa, jetho hamasmi lokasa, setho hamasmi lokasa, ayamantima jati nati dani punna bhavoti. Okay. Now, the word loka here, loka means world. So you can see world, world, world. Loka means world. Jati means born or birth. Yeah. Nati means no. Not means no. Nati, no. Yeah. And bhava means existence or becoming. And then punna means again, right? Again and again. Okay. So, chief am I in this world. I am the chief in this world. I am the best in this world. Jetho hamasmi, I am the eldest in this world. Seto hamasmi. Seto means the leader, the foremost. And then this is my last birth. This is my last jati. And then nati dani punna bhavoti. There is no more existence again. You know, there is no more existence again. Bhava, existence, punna, again. There is no more. There is no more renewed existence. There is no more rebirth for him. So this was what was uttered by the Bodhisattva in his birth. Yeah. Okay. Now then we talked about a few things in the life of the prince, and then I also mentioned this to you guys. The te vidya, te means three, vidya means knowledge, the threefold knowledge or the three knowledges. Okay. Pubbe nivasanusati, the ability to recall past lives. Dibba chaku. Chaku means eye, the eye, yenjing, the eye. Right. Dibba means divine. So dibba chaku, dibba also means something like heavenly. So dibba chaku means something like having the eye of the divine, right? The divine beings or the heavenly beings. So divine eye is the second knowledge. And third knowledge is asava kaya. Asava means impurities or mental intoxicants or poisons. Kaya means the ending, the cessation, the destruction. So asava kaya means the destruction of the impurities, the destruction of the taints. So this is the third knowledge. Now, quick question. This one, I don't think it will come out in your exam, but just a quick question for all of you. Do you guys, okay, so just answer yes or no in the chat box. Do all arahants possess te vidya? Do all arahants possess te vidya? Yes or no? Okay, let me check the chat. I don't know. Is anything going on in the chat? So you can type yes or no. Do all arahants possess te vidya? Yes, no? Okay. Okay, everyone is saying no. Okay, there's no yes answer. Okay, that's correct. All right, thank you. Okay, so the answer is no. Not all arahants possess te vidya. Not all arahants possess te vidya. However, all arahants will possess one of these three. I repeat, all arahants will possess one of these three. Which one is it? Which one is it? Is it Pubbe Niva Sanusati? Is it Dibba Chaku? Or is it Asava Kaya? You can type in the chat also if you know the answer. The third one, Sister Mary, and that's correct. Now, some arahants, yeah, that's the correct answer, yeah, Asava Kaya. Some arahants have all three knowledges. Some arahants possess te vidya. So there are te vidya arahants. Some arahants have all three, but not all arahants have all three. But all arahants must have Asava Kaya. That's why they are arahants. If they are not, if they don't have the knowledge of the destruction of the taints, then they're not called an arahant, because to become an arahant is to become awakened, to become enlightened. And to become enlightened, of course, is to destroy, to extinguish, to end all the impurities. Yeah, so that is the meaning of becoming an arahant. Okay, so all arahants have this one, Asava Kaya. Now, these three knowledges, this threefold knowledge is acquired by the Buddha in 3 stages, right? So as the Bodhisattva was sitting and practicing and meditating under the Bodhi tree. The night was long, yeah? So there were 3 watches of the night, or 3 parts of the night. So during the first watch of the night, he acquired the ability to recall his own past lives. So he was looking into his own past lives. During the second watch of the night, he was observing the birth, the death, and the rebirth of living beings. And he was able to see the cause and effect relationships of death and rebirth. So he was able to see, okay, this person has a good karma in his past life, and then he reaps the benefits, reaps the fruits of his good karma in a subsequent life, you know. Or this person has bad karma in a previous life, therefore he reaps the fruits of his bad karma in a subsequent life. He was able to observe that chain of dependent origination. He was able to observe the process of birth and rebirth. Okay, that was the second watch of the night. And finally, the third watch of the night, he attained Nibbana. It was during the third watch of the night that he became the Buddha, that he actually became enlightened or awakened. So his mind attained dispassion. Dispassion means the destruction of passion, the destruction of clinging, the destruction of attachment. Liberation, knowledge and vision, jnana dasana. Knowledge and vision means he acquires a true understanding of the nature of reality. He has the vision, he has seen the true nature of reality. He has attained and realized Nibbana, and the final knowledge, the third knowledge, the extinguishment of the asavas, asava kaya. Okay, so this was under the Bodhi tree. And after his enlightenment, upon his enlightenment, the Buddha recited this paean of victory, this song of victory, this poem of victory. Okay, this paean of joy.
Can you help me translate in English?
Yeah, I'm going to translate very soon. Aneka jati sangsarang. Jati means birth. Sangsara means the wandering on, many births. Okay, so this whole thing, I encourage you to read it and to reflect on it. It's really powerful.
Preliminary.
So this is the English. This is the English. Through many births, aneka jati sangsarang. Many births I have wandered on and on. So last week I told you guys to maybe find out the meaning of these, right? What is the house builder? What does the rafters, the word rafters mean? What does the ridgepole mean, right? All your rafters are broken and your ridgepole is shattered. Your ridgepole is destroyed. My mind has attained the unconditioned. My mind has gone to the unconstructed. So what do these words mean? Over here, you are provided with a meaning. The house builder is craving. The house is the being or the body of the self, right? Every existence, every new birth, we build this house. We build a new mind and body for every existence. So craving is that which fills our rebirth. Craving is that which generates a new existence. So your rafters, what are the rafters? The rafters here refer to the defilements, to the impurities of the mind. And the ridgepole is shattered. The ridgepole is that which is like the pillar of the house, you know, the pillar of the building, you know. The ridgepole would uphold the house, uphold the building. So this fundamental ridgepole, which is ignorance, the fundamental root of evil, the fundamental root of our defilements, that ridgepole is destroyed. It is shattered. It is broken. So all the taints and all the impurities have been destroyed. The mind of the Buddha has attained the end of craving and attained the realization of Nibbana. This is an inspiring poem. I really encourage you to contemplate it and reflect on it.
He has no more craving during his past life, but he gave up his wealth.
Say that again.
He gave up his wealth at his past life.
You're right. In some of his past lives, he gave up his material possessions. He gave up his kingdom. As a king, he gave up his kingdom and he renounced his material possessions. So that practice of generosity is also one of the key conditions that help the Bodhisattva practice his perfections, practice his parami until he becomes the Buddha in his final life. Thank you. All right, now 7 weeks. Okay, this is a quiz for all of you. Do you remember? Do you know what the Buddha did after in the 7 weeks
he
after his
meditated on the same tree, he get enlightened.
Okay, good. Now, this is a written quiz. All of you, if as much as you can remember, type in the chat, what he did in the first, second, third, fourth until the 7th week. Write everything. Just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What he did. Okay, I'll give you all 2 minutes. 2 minutes. The pictures here are clues. These are the clues for you because the pictures here you can see what are the answers. Okay, go. I'll give you 2 minutes to type your answers. All right, go for it. All right, let me look in the chat room. Yeah, if any of you needs to go to the washroom or if you need to take a break, yeah, feel free to take a break or go to the washroom. No worries. Someone answered the question. In the first week, he meditated under the Bodhi tree. That's correct. Your name is, brother, your name is, I can't remember your name. Last week, what's your name again? So Jovi Chen is your
Minlak, who is a privilege.
Right, it's okay, it's okay. You can change your name if you want to. You can renew yourself, but it's okay, no problem. I mean, yeah. Okay. In the second week, he stand here looking at the Bodhi tree. Okay, brother Lim Yu Kang. Oh, this is good. So this is all the 7 answers. Very good, very good. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so someone has the correct answer already. So if you don't know all the answers, that means you need to do your revision, yeah? Do your revision. So in the first week, he sat under the Bodhi tree, enjoying the Nibbanic bliss, the bliss of emancipation. So you're correct, brother. He sat under the Bodhi tree. And then in the second week, he practiced gratitude, gazing at the Bodhi tree, unmoving, in order to express his gratitude. Because the Bodhi tree was his shelter. You know, there was rain and sunshine, but the Bodhi tree was his shelter during his practice for enlightenment. Third week, Ratana Chankamana. So Ratana means jewel. So we say Ti Ratana, the triple gem, the 3 jewels.
Yeah, he walked on the jeweled bridge, up and down. I mean, front and down,
Up and down,
front and back, front and back for the whole week.
That's correct, for the whole week. Very good. So Chankamana means a pathway that is extended. So over here, the pronunciation is promenade, which is a good translation, I would say. Brother said bridge. Yeah, bridge is a good translation as well. So this pathway, you walk up and down. Now, even today, Buddhist meditators, whether they're monks or nuns or lay people, Buddhist meditators still practice this, right? They practice walking meditation. So the pathway that they practice, the pathway they use to practice the walking meditation is called Chankamana. Yeah, it's called Chankamana. Yeah, that pathway. Okay, now Ratanagara, the jewel chamber or the jewel hall.
Yeah, so he meditated in the 4th week on a jeweled seat in the higher Dhamma.
On the higher Dhamma, that's right, the Abhidhamma. So
what's the higher Dhamma meaning?
What does the higher Dhamma mean? This is quite high level, maybe it's not at the junior or preliminary level. The Abhidhamma is an analytical approach to the Dhamma. It's an analytical and philosophical approach to the Dhamma. So that's what higher Dhamma means. It has a sense of reality from a systematic perspective, from an analytical perspective. Yeah, brother? Okay, so during the contemplation of the patthana, the laws and patterns of conditionality, the 6 rays of color emanated from the Buddha's body. So if you know the 6 colors, you can also type it down, or you can go and check out what are the 6 colors. The 6 colors are also on our Buddhist flag. So there are the 5 colors plus the 6. The 6 is a resplendent color. It's a mixture of the 5. Yeah, so you can go and look it up, or you can type in the chat if you know the answers. All right, the 5th week, Ajapala Banyan tree, the 3 daughters of Mara came to visit the Buddha. Tanha Arati Raga.
They were here at the Ajapala Banyan tree because the Mara asked, I think the Mara asked the daughters to distract him, and then so she tried dancing to distract him, but he kept meditating, and over time they got tired and stopped.
Yes, very good. Thank you. So yes, they wanted to distract him. Yes, but
no, I'm guessing Mara and the daughters decided to do that.
right. So the Buddha continued to meditate despite these temptations or despite these distractions. So the Buddha had this concentration
the daughters
of mind.
are just dancing while the daughters are dancing.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. That's right. Thank you. He had this concentration of mind. He has this unification of mind. He has this stillness of mind. So he was unshaken by external distractions. All right. Now, if you know the meaning of the words Thana, Arati, Raga, if you know the meaning, you can also type it in the chat now. What?
Surely in the 7th week he meditated on a tree. I forget that name, but but the time he got the offering, he was at the same tree that he meditated in the 7th week, and it's the 8th week, and he hasn't go to anywhere yet. Like he doesn't go on any tree to meditate or go into another place to keep walking and show gratitude. Yeah, that's happening.
Right. So Brother Lim Yu Kang has actually written the name of the tree. So I didn't include it in this slide, but Brother Lim Yu Kang wrote Raja Yatana tree. So he has actually included the name of the tree for the 7th week. So that's good. Yeah. All right. So if you know the meaning of Thana, Arati, Raga, write it in the chat now. Okay. So yes, that's good. Thana means craving. So Brother Lim, Raga is not delusion. Yeah. Raga is not delusion. Delusion is moha. Raga is not delusion. Raga means sensual lust. Thana means craving. Raga means sensual lust. Arati means hatred. Yes, Arati means aversion. Okay. So delusion is moha. Yeah, Raga is not delusion. Okay, so those are the 3 daughters of Mara. Now the 6th week Mukalinda tree, and then Mukalinda Naga Raja. Naga means like a snake or a cobra or a serpent. Right? Raja means a king. So Naga Raja, the serpent king, sheltered the Buddha in the heavy rain. And finally, in the 7th week, the first 2 lay disciples, of the Buddha.
Apparently how he did it is that he becomes a cobra and then curls around him to protect him from the heavy rain, and during the end of the week he pays respect to the Buddha.
Yep, that's good, correct. So the serpent king Naga Raja, he had this. He becomes a snake. So the snake has this hood, the hood over the top of the head of the Buddha to shelter him. And then at the end of the week, he becomes he takes the form of a Brahmin, of a young man, and paid respect to the Buddha. That's correct. Very good. Finally, in the 7th week, Tapasu and Balika, the first 2 disciples of the Buddha, they are lay disciples. They went to offer food to the Buddha, rice cakes and honey to the Buddha, and they went to the Buddha and Dhamma for refuge. At this point, the Sangha did not exist yet, so they didn't go to the Sangha for refuge. Yeah, so they received 8 locks of hair, 8 strands of hair from the Buddha. Okay. Then after the 7 weeks, the Buddha decided to go and teach the Dhamma. Go and teach the Dhamma.
No, he didn't. He didn't decide on teaching the Dhamma, but Abraham forced him to do it.
No. That's not correct. Yeah. So Brahma Sahampati didn't force him to do it. No, he didn't force him to do it. Yeah. So this is what happened. The Buddha, upon attaining awakening, he realized that the Dhamma that he discovered is deep and profound and subtle. Let me write it into the chat. Yeah. Deep, profound, subtle. Deep, profound, subtle. When he realized this, he thought to himself, maybe it is very difficult for living beings to understand this, to realize this. So I might incline to inaction. I might incline to not teaching this Dhamma. Then brother said, Brahma Sahampati.
No, can you please stop? Excuse me, can you go back to the beginning? Because Daddy and Mommy are talking, which distracted.
So Brahma Sahampati, the senior Maha Brahma, the senior God, the senior Brahma of the heavens, descended to earth and requested the Buddha. He said to the Buddha, "O Lord Buddha, this world has beings who need to hear the Dhamma. Without the Dhamma, they will perish. They will perish. They need your teaching to attain Nibbana, to attain liberation." So the Buddha looked out into the world. He surveyed the world with his Buddha's eye. And he surveyed the world with his great compassion, Mahakaruna. And he saw that there are beings with little dust in their eyes. Little dust in their eyes. Little dust in their eyes. And he said, "Let me teach the Dhamma." He said, "Flung open are the doors to the Dhamma. Let those with ears to hear decide their faith, establish their faith." So then he decided to go and teach the Dhamma. So first he thought of his two former teachers, right? Before he became the Buddha, he was practicing as a samana, right? As a contemplative. And he had two teachers. Another quiz, what are the names of the two teachers? What are the names of the two teachers? Write it in the chat now. The two teachers.
Kalama and Putra.
Very good. Write it in the chat. Alara Kalama, that's the first teacher. Very good. What's the second?
Uddaka Ramaputta.
Uddaka Ramaputta. Very good. Thank you. That's correct. Excellent. So the first two teachers, he thought of them. He wanted to go and teach them because they are spiritually attained. There are spiritually advanced.
Is the sage who teaches is the sage that says that he will be the Buddha?
Hang on, yeah.
The sage that decided to become a Buddha, that says that he will become a Buddha. The sage.
Oh no, no. That one is Kondanya. Different person.
No, it's before Kondanya. Before.
Oh, Asita. Yes, Asita. That one is Asita. Yeah. Yes, that one is Asita, but it's not. Asita is a different person. It's a different person. Asita is a different person. Okay. Now, so the Buddha thought of Uddaka Ramaputta and Alara Kalama. However, they are no longer alive. They were no longer alive. They had passed away. So he thought of the 5 former companions, right? His 5 companions. Now, what are the names of the 5 companions? Type it in the chat. Yeah, go for it. Erlina, yeah, type it in the chat. Yes.
Can I type fast or picture?
5 disciples, 5 companions. Okay, Asaji is correct. Yes, Erlina, Asaji is correct. Very good. Mahanama is also correct. Okay, 2 more. Okay, never mind. I'll tell the answer. Okay, Badiya, yeah, that's right. And Kondanya. Okay, everyone got it. That's good. All right, so Vapa, Mahanama, Badiya, Mahanama, Badiya, Asaji, and Kondanya. Okay, so these are the 5 disciples. So he traveled all the way to Isipatana. Migadaya. What is Migadaya? Migadaya means deer park. Deer park. Miga means deer. Daya is like a forest or a park. Yeah, Migadaya deer park. So the deer park in Isipatana near Varanasi. Now question. This one won't be asked in the exam, but this is a question to all of you. Google it. You can Google it. The answer you can Google it. How far did the Buddha travel? To walk all the way to Isipatana in Varanasi, how far did he walk? Google it. Give me the answer. Give me the answer in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Google the answer. Okay. How far did the Buddha walk? No. The distance. The distance. How many kilometers? This one is not in the exam, but it's for you to imagine the distance that he traveled. You can Google it. 40 or 80 km? No.
Yes, according to legend, the prince vultured outside the gate the first time he was on the when he was 20. I don't know, but
5 km? Oh no, not 5
yeah, but
km.
the Google didn't give me anything.
Wait, I type the question. What is the distance between Bodh Gaya and Isi Patana? Okay, Google the answer now. Google Maps has answer. What is the distance between Bodh Gaya and Isi Patana? Someone Google the answer. Anyone can Google it. Yeah, Google Maps has the answer. Very good. Yeah, you don't know, it's okay. This is okay. So, okay, very good. So it's more than 200 kilometers. It's more than 200 kilometers. Very good. Thank you. Brother or sister Ang Shun Si, you can type your chat in the public chat.
It says that
because
it was 247
yes,
and
yes.
0.8 kilometers, right?
Yes, thank you. Wait. I just want to mention, brother or sister Ang Shun Si, you can type your answer in the public chat, yeah? Because you don't have to direct message me. Okay. Good. Now, so 200 kilometers, 200 plus kilometers. How far would you take to walk 200 plus kilometers? It will probably take you a few days at least, right? 200 plus kilometers. Now, if you drive a car, it will take you about 2 to 3 hours. Okay. But if you're walking, then it will take you a few days, possibly. Now, some of you might have done a pilgrimage, a spiritual pilgrimage to India. I'm not sure. Any one of you have done a spiritual pilgrimage to India? Type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. Yes, okay. Sister and brother, yeah. So some people have done it. So let me ask you a question. When you travel, so you might have visited some of the key places in the Buddha's life. So you might have visited Lumbini Park, yeah, Lumbini Garden, the place of his birth. You might also have visited Isi Patana, the place of his teaching of the first sutta. So my question to you is, how did you travel? Did you walk? Did you get a car? How did you travel? Okay, yes.
Mostly I go car.
Yeah. Yes. Erlina, Lumbini Park still exists, yeah? Lumbini Park still exists. I mean, the park as a park, I'm not sure, but the place is still there in India. So you take a flight, you take a car, you take a bus. By bus. Most people take it by bus. Most people travel from, those of you who went to India, most of you travel from Lumbini Park to Isi Patana by bus. But at the time of India, brothers and sisters, there was no bus. The Buddha walked all the way from Bodh Gaya, which is the place of his enlightenment, all the way to Isi Patana. Walked for 200 plus kilometers all the way. The question all of you need to ask yourself is this: why? Why? Why walk so far? Why walk so far to teach the Dhamma? Why is it so important? So this is a question for your own reflection, yeah, for your own reflection. Okay. Now, he taught the sutta there in the Isi Patana Deer Park. This sutta is called the Dhamma Chakka Pavatana Sutta. Dhamma Chakka Pavatana Sutta. Dhamma means the truth, the teachings of the Buddha. Chakka means the wheel, yeah. Pavatana means setting in motion, turning the wheel, starting the wheel, making the wheel turn. That is Pavatana, turning the wheel of truth, turning the wheel of Dhamma. It means that the Buddha has started the rolling of the Dhamma. You know, the Dhamma has started to become transmitted from the Buddha to his disciples. That's why it's called Dhamma Chakka Pavatana.
And she sent the Sangha to teach the Dharma to other people.
Very good. So this is the second part. Yeah, go forth. The Buddha said to his disciples, "Go forth, O bhikkhus." A short while after his enlightenment, he had 60 Arahant disciples. The first disciple to attain the first stage of awakening, his name is Kondanya. Most of you already know this. Kondanya attained the Dhamma Eye. No, the Buddha was not a Muslim. No. So,
Hindu before his enlightenment.
Kondanya attained the Dhamma Eye, which is the attainment of Sotapati, the fruit of stream entry. Yeah. So Kondanya was the first to become awakened at the first stage of enlightenment. Yeah. Subsequently, after Kondanya, the other 4 disciples, right, also attained first stage of enlightenment, the stream entry. They became stream
I
enterers.
think why he is first because he knows that he will become a Buddha. He determines.
Yeah. Hang on, yeah. Let me finish this part first. Yeah, then brother, you can jump in. Okay. So all 5 disciples became stream enterers. After the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, what was the second sutta that was taught by the Buddha? Type it in the chat now. What was the second sutta that was taught by the Buddha? Type it into the chat now. Does anyone know? Okay, no one knows. It's fine. No worries. I will type it. No. The second sutta. It's okay. The second sutta is the Anatta. Yes, correct. Sister Someli. Yes, Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. Upon the teaching of the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, all 5 disciples attained the 4th and final stage of Nibbana, the 4th and final stage of enlightenment. They all have become Arahants. This was after the second sutta. So this was the first 5 Arahants in the world after the Buddha. So now in the world, there are 6 Arahants, correct or not? Very shortly after that, the Buddha had 60 Arahant disciples. Here I wrote...
Actually 5, and then the +1 has cousins, and then the Buddha teaches all of his cousins and friends and parents.
Very good.
All of them in total is 54.
Yeah, that's right. So 5 is the first 5 disciples. This one is Yasa, the disciple, Yasa. And Yasa brought 54 other people, his friends and so on, 54 other friends to also learn the Dhamma, and all of them, Yasa and 54 friends, all of them became Arahants. So my next question to you is, Yasa brought 54 friends to learn the teachings from the Buddha. How many friends have you brought?
So it's not 54 friends, it includes his parents.
Yeah, it includes his relatives and so on. Correct. So 54 friends and relatives and so on. So my question to you is, how many friends have you brought to learn the Dhamma? So this is a question for you to think about. Yasa brought 54 friends. Maybe some of you have also brought some friends to the Dhamma. So this question is for you also to reflect. Yeah. Then after, when the Buddha had 60 Arahant disciples, he gave the disciples a mission. Go forth, O bhikkhus, for the good of the many, for the joy of the many, out of compassion for the world, for the well-being of gods and humans. He sent the 60 disciples all over India. He said to the disciples, let not 2 of you go in the same direction, because he wants all 60 disciples to go in a different direction, to teach the Dhamma far and
go and separate themselves.
Yeah. And the Buddha said, after that, he said,
and then later, one of the first one named Asaji tells Putra the first.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah. We'll get there soon. Yeah. So out of compassion for the world, for the well-being of gods and humans. And then the Buddha said, I shall also go and teach. So the Buddha sends his 60 disciples to teach. The Buddha himself also embarked on a separate path to go and teach also. And for the next 45 years of his ministry, brothers and sisters, the Buddha taught the Dhamma to gods and humans. Among his disciples are monastic practitioners, monastic disciples, and lay disciples. Monastic disciples are called bhikkhu and bhikkhuni. Bhikkhu are the male monastic disciples, and bhikkhuni are the female monastic disciples, right? Monks and nuns, okay? Now, lay disciples are called upasaka and upasika. Also, upasika is a male lay disciple, and upasika is a female lay disciple, yeah? Layman and laywoman, okay? Sattha deva manusanam. When we chant the Itipiso chant, yeah, the Buddha Nusati, the homage to the Buddha. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijja charana sampanno. Okay. We also say Sattha Deva Manusanam. Sattha means the teacher, the teacher. Deva means the heavenly beings. Manusa, Manusa, it means human beings. That's why we have the Malay word Manusya, Manusya. Okay, the teacher of Deva and Manusa. All right. So this is the life of the Buddha. So now let's go to the second part, the second component of the syllabus, the Dhamma. Right, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Dhamma. Now, for the preliminary stage, you have to remember your syllabus. Yeah, Tisarana, Vandana, Panchasila, Dasa, Kusala, Kama. This is for the preliminary stage. Junior stage, you have to know all of this plus a few more things. You have to know, for this is for junior stage, you have to know Atangika Sila, Dasa Parami, Chattari Arya Sachani, Mangala Sutta. Mangala Sutta. Okay, you have to know this. Yeah. So for preliminary stage students, you can also know these things. Yeah, you can always learn more. It's just that it won't be in the syllabus. Yeah, it won't be in the exam. Okay. Cool.
It will not be in my assignment because I'm preliminary.
You're in preliminary. Very good. So you need to know the 5 precepts, Pancha Sila. But for junior level, you need to know the Atangika Sila, the 8 precepts. All right. Now, question. Yeah. So let's go through all these 3 very briefly. Tisarana. What does Tisarana means? What does Tisarana mean? Type in the chat right now. Tisarana means what? Type in the chat, everyone. Three refuges. Very good. Thank you. So Tisarana means the 3 refuges: the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Tisarana. Why do we go for refuge? To become a Buddhist means to go for refuge. That's what a Buddhist means, a disciple of the Buddha. You go for refuge. You go to the Buddha for refuge. You go to the Dhamma for refuge. You go to the Sangha for refuge.
Not Buddha. I hear you say Buddha. In the right pronunciation, it's called Buddha. Not Buddha. No, he said Buddha. She didn't say Buddha. You said Buddha.
Okay, brother or sister, you need to unmute. You need to mute yourself. Yeah. Okay, cool. Homage to the Buddha. When we chant homage to the Buddha, we say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo means homage or honor. Homage or honor. Namo. Tassa means him, the Buddha. Homage to him. Bhagava. Bhagava means the exalted one, the holy one, the blessed one. Bhagava means, or the fortunate one. Someone who is highly exalted. Someone who is highly honored, someone who is blessed. Okay, that's Bhagava. Arahato means the Buddha had attained Nibbana. The Buddha had attained Arahantship. Arahato, the accomplished one, the worthy one, the perfected one. That is Arahato. And finally, Samma Sambuddhassa means the supremely awakened one, the supremely enlightened one. The Samma Sambuddha is a unique kind of Buddha. He is not just like any other Arahants. Arahants are all Arahato, but not all Arahants are Samma Sambuddha.
Yeah, even better than Buddhas. Even though the teaching is no more, there's a type of Buddha where they are called, like it's not with an M and then
it's called Pachika Buddha.
Buddha.
It's called Pachika Buddha, brother. It's
called
Pachika
Buddha.
Yes.
They can ask a lot of questions, but he cannot tell the questions he cannot make the people understand those very hard questions.
Yes, thank you. Very good. So Samma Sambuddha is a teacher who discovers the Dhamma on his own without relying on a teacher. You and I are not Samma Sambuddha yet. Maybe one of you will be a future Samma Sambuddha. That's because if we attain enlightenment, brothers and sisters, we are relying on the teachings of the Buddha. Is that right? Isn't that right? We're relying on the teachings of the Buddha. But the Buddha himself, the Buddha Gautama himself, he is a Samma Sambuddha because he didn't rely on any teacher to teach him the Dhamma. That is the first reason. The second reason is a Samma Sambuddha establishes a sasana, establishes a community of disciples, a dispensation of teaching. Sasana, Buddha Sasana. He establishes that. Just now, brother said it very well. A Pachika Buddha, he does not establish a sasana. He does not establish a following. He does not establish a community of disciples. Okay, so a Sama Sambuddha, number one, he discovers the Dhamma on his own. Number two, he establishes a sasana. He establishes an order, an institution, an order of disciples who follow him. Okay, so this is why we go to the Buddha for refuge. Now, why do we go to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha for refuge? The word refuge, the word sarana, yeah, sarana, refuge. The word sarana means protection or shelter. Protection or shelter, refuge. That's what refuge means. For example, if it's raining heavily and then you go into a building to seek shelter from the rain, correct or not? That is called refuge. You go to the Buddha to seek refuge. You go into the building to seek refuge. The Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, these are the refuges for us. Why? They are the supreme refuge, the highest refuge. Why? Because they protect us. Protect us from what? Protect us from what? Protect us from the dangers of samsara. From the dangers of samsara. They protect us from evil states of mind. They protect us from unfortunate planes of existence, unfortunate rebirths. They also protect us from the evil ways of life so that we can embark upon a noble way of life, a wholesome way of life. That's why we go to them for refuge. Finally, taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha will take us all the way to the attainment of the highest Dhamma, the supreme Dhamma, which is Nibbana, the realization of realization of complete liberation, the attainment of complete liberation. Okay, that's why we go for refuge. These are the chanting for refuge. I'm sure all of you already know this. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Gacchami means I go. I repeat, gacchami means I go. I go. So you don't sit there and just take refuge. You go for refuge. Means you actually practice the path. You walk the path of Dhamma. You don't just sit there and say, oh, I go for refuge, and then you sit there and do nothing. The act of taking refuge is an active act. It is a proactive act. Yeah, proactive act. You go for refuge. You actually take action. Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Sarana means the refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi means for the second time. Tatiyampi means for the third time. Now, question. All of you type in the chat, yeah? What is the best way to honor the Buddha? What is the best way to honor the Buddha? Type in the chat now. What is the best way to honor the Buddha? By practicing the Dhamma. Very good. That is the answer. By practicing the Dhamma. This is the best way to honor the Buddha. To honor the Buddha is not to score A in your exam. Although, I'm not saying, don't go and tell your parents, oh, brother Khor exam is good, right? I want all of you to do well in your Malaysian Buddhist examination. Do well in your exam. But that is not the best way to honor the Buddha. It is one way to honor the Buddha, indeed, but not the best way. Offering flowers and offering incense and offering flowers and incense and offering water to the Buddha is one way to honor the Buddha, but it's also not the best way to honor the Buddha. The best way to honor the Buddha is to practice the Dhamma. Practicing the Dhamma can be divided into three components or three stages. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Dana means generosity or giving. Yeah, Dana. Sila means integrity, conduct, your good virtue, moral virtue, Sila. Bhavana means mental cultivation, mental cultivation. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. This is how you honor the Buddha. Now, the word kusala is an important word. It means skillful, or it means wholesome. Wholesome way of life. Skillful way of life. Kusala. Kusala. Okay? Now, the question for all of you is, do you know what are the 10 meritorious deeds or the 10 wholesome actions? I'll give you all 1 minute. You can type it into the chat now. The 10 wholesome actions. Type it in the chat, yeah? Do it now, yes. Okay, Gan Yu Jun. The concept of karma is a very important concept. It's going to be a long answer, so maybe later on I'll try to answer your question in the Q&A session, yeah? Okay. Now, the 10 wholesome deeds or the 10 wholesome actions. Dasa means 10, kusala means skillful or wholesome or righteous, kamma means actions. Kamma means actions. Yeah, so these are the 10 wholesome deeds. I'll just go through very quickly because we don't have time. So I cannot explain everything, but if you want to know more, you can ask in the Q&A segment. Yeah? Okay, dana means giving. Sila means morality or integrity. Bhavana means your meditation, yeah, your mental cultivation. Apachayana means paying respect. Paying respect. Veyavacha means service or attending to the needs of others. Veyavacha. Pati dana. Dana means giving, yeah? So pati dana means the giving of merit or the sharing of merit, the transference of merit, the dedication of merit. Pata numodana, pati dana and pata numodana go hand in hand. Pati dana means I share my merit. Pata numodana means you receive the merit with joy. You rejoice in the merit. You delight in the merit of someone else. So when you see someone do good deeds, when you see someone practicing the Dhamma, when you see someone score A in their Buddhist examination, you would rejoice. You should rejoice. You should say, congratulations, sadhu, sadhu, well done, well done. This is patanumodana. That's why we always say sadhu, sadhu, because we rejoice in the good deeds of other beings, okay? Now, Dhamma Savana and Dhamma Desana also go together. Dhamma Savana means listening to Dhamma. So all of you are doing a good deed now, right now, because all of you are practicing Dhamma Savana. Dhamma Savana. So the Dasa Kusala Kama, wholesome action. You are practicing one of them right now. So Weiken, brother Weiken, is practicing Dhamma Desana. Dhamma Desana means teaching the Dhamma, explaining the Dhamma, speaking the Dhamma. That is Dhamma Desana. Giving a Dhamma talk. That is Dhamma Desana. And finally, the last wholesome action is Ditthiju Kamma. Ditthiju Kamma. Ditti means your views, your perspective. Ditti, let me write it down. Ditti means your view, your perspective, your understanding of life. Ditti means your view, your perspective, your understanding of life. Uju. Uju means straight. Uju means straight. For example, we say Uju Patipano. We say, right, when we are chanting the Sangha Nusati, the recollection of the virtues of the Sangha, remember that? We say Uju Patipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangha. We start with Su Patipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, and then we say Uju Patipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Su means good. Patipano means practice. So Su Patipano means well practiced. Okay? Good conduct. Uju Patipano. Uju Patipano means straight practice. The straight way of practice. A proper way of conduct. That is Uju Patipano. So Ditti Uju means we straighten our understanding. We straighten our view, straighten our understanding, and straighten our view. That is Ditthiju Kamma. Okay, Erlina, you asked, what does apachayana mean? What does veya vacha mean? Okay, I repeat. Apachayana means respect. Paying respect to those who are worthy of respect. Paying respect to those who are worthy of respect. Okay, so you pay respect to the Buddha. You pay respect to your teachers. You pay respect to your elders. You pay respect to your parents. That is called apachayana. Veya vacha means, Erlina, veya vacha means service or attending to the needs of others, attending to the needs of someone. If someone needs help, someone needs service, we help them. That is called veya vacha. Veya vacha. Very good. Thank you. Thanks for the question. Okay. Now, next one is 8 precepts. Okay. This one is for junior level. For junior level. Preliminary level, you only need to know 5 precepts. But if you want to join in, you can also learn. Okay. 8 precepts, junior level, you must know. What are the 8 precepts? Last week, I asked you all to do your homework, right? I asked you all to find out what the 8 precepts are, right? Okay. If you had done your homework, you would know. If you didn't do your homework, it's okay. Now I'll give you the answers. These are the 8 precepts. So for 8 precepts, the third precept usually in the 5 precepts, the third precept is kamesu michachara, sexual misconduct. However, in the 8 precepts, framework, in the 8 precepts formula, the third precept is changed. Yeah, no longer kamesu michachara. It's changed to abrahmacharya. Abrahmacharya means any sexual activity. Okay, abrahmacharya. And then there are 3 precepts that are added.
Unchastity is actually unchastity. Unchastity is meaning unmoral. That means don't do bad actions.
Yeah. Panchasiki. You mean Panchasila, the 5 precepts? Panchasila is the 5 precepts. Yeah, this is Atangika. Atangika is Sila, is the 8 precepts. Panchasila is the 5 precepts. So the 6, 7, and 8 precepts, yeah. Vikala bojana. Vikala bojana. Kala, yeah. Kala means time. Time, Vikala means like the improper time or the wrong time, you know, vikala. Bojana means food. Bojana means food. So vikala bojana means taking solid food after the wrong time. So it means eating after noontime. Yeah. Okay. Then the 7 precepts is a long precept. I don't know if you guys have memorized it. You guys can memorize it if you want. You should memorize it for the junior level students. Nacha Gita Vadita Visu Kadasana Mala Gandha Vilipana Dharana Mandana Vibhu Sana Thana Theramani Sikhapadang Samadhiyami. So I undertake the precept to refrain from dancing, singing, music, and entertainments, and also from wearing garlands, perfumes, cosmetics, and jewelry. So this includes your
entertainment. Why is it not allowed? It's about watching shows, not entertainment.
Yeah, watching movies and so on. Correct. Watching movies, songs, listening to music.
No,
and so
watching
on.
shows, it will only affect that. And for watching videos, it does not affect. But watching shows,
watching shows is under the 7th precept. Yes.
Yeah, but watching videos is not.
Watching videos is not in the 7th precept.
Is watching videos watching a show?
Depends on what the video is. If you're watching a video of Brother Weiken teaching the Dhamma, then it's not entertainment. If you're watching a video of the World Cup or the NBA finals, then of course it's under entertainment. Depends on what kind of videos, yeah, brother. Okay. And then the 8th precept is high beds or luxurious beds or seats. Yeah, high or luxurious beds and seats. So you don't sleep on a high or luxurious bed, you sleep on a low bed, right? Or you sleep on the floor, for example. Okay, so that's the 8th precept.
What's the low bed? Is the low bed an ordinary bed?
A low bed is not a high bed. So there's an
ordinary bed that we usually sleep. Is it what you mean? Don't sleep on top bunk, sleep at the bottom bunk?
I'll explain to you. So it depends on how high your bed is. There is a certain length, a certain height measurement of the bed. If it's more than a certain height, then it's considered a high bed. So
certain height. What's that certain height?
I don't remember. A good question. I don't remember. I need to remember it, but I don't remember. So for those of you who want to know how high the bed is, find out. Okay, this is your homework, yeah, for this week. Go and find out how high the bed needs to be. So if you're practicing this precept, you're pretty much sleeping on the floor. Maybe there's a mat, you know, or something like a wooden platform or something like that. But you'll be sleeping on the floor pretty much if you're practicing the 8th precept. Okay, the 8th precept. All right. Now the 10 perfections. This one is also for the junior level students. Also for the junior level students. Okay, but if you're a preliminary level, you can also learn it. Dasa parami. Dasa means 10. Parami means perfections. Okay. These are all the Pali words. D means dana, S means sila, and so on. If you have done your revision, if you have done your learning of the 10 parami, can you type all the answers in the chat? Or you can unmute yourself also. Does anyone know the answer for all 10? You can give me the answer. You can unmute yourself and tell me the answer if you know the 10 perfections.
Dana, Sila, Nekama, Panya, Virya, Kanti, Satya, Aditana, Metta, Upeka.
Okay, that's correct. Aditana, after that?
Upeka.
Metta and Upeka. Very good, thank you. Okay, Dana, Sila, Nekama. Dana, Sila, Nekama, Panya, Virya, energy, and then Kanti, Satya, Aditana, Metta, Upeka. This is the Pali version. So I can give you all a way to remember. This is my way of remembering it. But if you can remember all 10 parami without any help, you can do it, yeah? But this is my way of teaching all of you how to remember it. This is my way. I use the word girl widow. This is the English translation. Girl widow. This is my way of remembering it. You can use it if it's helpful to you. G means giving or generosity. I means integrity or virtue, sila. R is renunciation, yeah, nekama. W is wisdom, panya. E is energy. Energy is virya. And then the next E is endurance or patience, kanti, endurance. And then T is truth or truthfulness, satya. D is determination or aditana. L is love or loving kindness, metta. E is equanimity, upeka. This is my way of remembering it. If it helps you, you can use this way. If you have your own way of remembering it, that's also great. Okay, go with those. This is my way of remembering it. Now, for the exam, you also need to know one Jataka tale for each parami, for each perfection. So, what is a Jataka story for Dana? What is a Jataka story for Sila, and so on? So, I cannot tell all the 10 stories here today because we don't have time. But for you, you can do your revision, yeah, do your work, go and find out what are the 10 Jataka stories associated with each parami. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so that was the Dhamma. Now let's go to the Sangha, the last part of our tutorial today. But before that, let's take a 2 minutes break. Let's take a 2 minutes break, and you can also type your questions into the Zoom chat, yeah? Let's take a 2 minutes break now. You can also type your questions in the Zoom chat. Okay, 2 minutes break. Okay. Okay, cool. So far, so good. All right. Where is Queen Mahamaya reborn? The answer, okay, Sister Mary Ann, the answer for where is Queen Mahamaya reborn is, the answer is to Sita heaven. That's the answer.
Sama heaven.
Brother, what do you say?
No, it's different.
It's to Sita heaven.
Tavastima.
Tava Timsa heaven.
Yeah, that heaven.
Okay, no. Brother, wait. Can you rename yourself? I really don't know your name. Jovi Chen is your current name. Can you rename yourself to your correct name so that I can call your name? Yeah, it's good. No problem. Yeah, just rename yourself. Okay, now let me explain what is the difference. Yeah. Sister Ong Sim Ling says it's Tava Timsa too. Okay.
Sorry, brother Khor Marian here, because it's like when we study Abhidhamma, right? I remember that Buddha went down. Queen Mahamaya have to like come down to the descend to Tava Timsa, so because more heavenly people. So I won't use the people. I mean the are there, the devas are there. But I think in the question in the past year papers, right? I think the suggested answer is Tava Timsa. I think in the book they also mentioned Tava Timsa, so I got a bit mixed up now. Is that some mention Tava Timsa, some mention to Sita. Yeah.
Yes. I understand.
Yeah, it's spelled like this. T-A.
Yeah, brother. I know. Minlok, yes. Tava Timsa. I understand. Now, okay. Let me put it this way. There are different historical accounts. Some accounts say that she was reborn in Tava Timsa heaven. Some accounts say that she was reborn in Tusita heaven. Now, let me give you the Theravāda account. The Theravāda historical account is that Queen Mahamaya was reborn in Tusita heaven, but she descended, she came down to a lower level of heaven, which is called Tava Timsa heaven, in order to hear her son, right, the Buddha, hear her son teach the Abhidhamma. Now, that is the official Theravāda historical account. Now, for the exam, I'm not sure which version they follow. Maybe the examiner follows the version that says that the Queen Mahamaya was reborn in Tava Timsa heaven. That might be possible. I'm actually not sure, because I'm not the one who set the exam questions. It is possible that the examiner uses that historical account. So I really don't know. Sister Marianne, does it answer your question? I'm really sorry, but I can't help beyond this point. Does it make sense? Yeah. So it is, I understand. Some people say it's true, yeah. Minlok is right. And the books are also not wrong, because there are historical accounts that say that Maya was actually reborn in Tava Timsa heaven. That's true. But depending on which version you follow, I can tell you the Theravāda version. The Theravāda account is that Queen Mahamaya was actually reborn in Tusita heaven. Yeah, so that's depending on which historian you follow lah, depending on which historian you believe, in that sense. Okay. Now, brother or sister Li Pin Chu said share the acronym. Okay, let me share the acronym. Let me share the slide, then you can see the slide. So the acronym that I use, this is the acronym that I use for my own way of remembering it. But you can use whatever way you want. I use the word girl with though, because it's easier to remember. So every time I want to recite, the 10 parami, I would say girl with though, and then I know the 10. Generosity, which is dana. Integrity, which is sila. Integrity, virtue or morality, sila. R is renunciation, nekkhamma. W is wisdom, panya. E is energy or effort, viriya. The next E is endurance or patience, khanti. T is truth, satya. D is determination, aditthana. L is love, metta. E is equanimity, upekka. These are the 10 parami, the 10 perfections. You don't have to use this way to remember it. It's up to you. But I want all of you to remember the Pali as well. because the Pali is also important. Okay. This is a Pali. Dana, Sila, Nekama, Panya, Viriya, Khanti, Satya, Adithana, Metta, Upeka. Yeah. So I know a friend in Singapore. She chants the 10 parami in a song, in a very short melody, short tune. So she actually chants all 10. Dana, Sila, Nika. She chants it. I forgot the tune or the melody, but she does it that way. So if it helps you to remember it, you can also chant all 10 in sequence in a short melody so that you can remember it. That's also a way for you to remember. That's what my friend in Singapore, she does it that way, but you can use any way for you to remember the 10. Also remember the Jataka stories, yeah. Okay, let's get to Sangha. The disciples taught by the Buddha. Okay, now this is a question for all of you. Type the number in the chat. How many chief disciples did the Buddha have? How many chief disciples did the Buddha have? Type in the chat now. Yeah. Okay, I'll wait for 1 minute. Some say 2, some say 4, some say 3, some say 60, some say 2, some say 60. Okay. Some say 1. Okay, definitely not 60. Definitely not 60. 60 are the first 60 disciples. But chief disciples doesn't mean the first disciples. So there are the first 5 disciples of the Buddha, remember, right? Tapusa Balika is the first 2 lay disciples. And then the first 5 monastic disciples are Vapa, Mahanama, Bhattacharya,
one of the
Asaji,
5 disciples named Asaji.
Asaji.
Excuse me, can you please be quiet for a while? It's just for a while.
Go ahead.
The first 5 disciples named Asaji taught Patissa, which is another name of Putra, before he became a monk. He tells him about the Dhamma, and then he tells it to his friend Moggallana, and then they both become the chief disciples of the Buddha after hearing the Buddha's words. They only hear one of the 4 lines that the Buddha said.
Very good. That's correct. Minlok, that's correct. Very good. Now, I will repeat what Minlok says later on in the disciples. Okay, so actually this is a trick question. This is a trick question. How many chief disciples did Buddha have? The short answer is it depends on how you count it. So Sister Mary Ann actually has the right answer already. Sister Mary Ann says 2 male and 2 female. Yeah, correct. So that's the correct answer. 2 male and 2 females. So if you count only the male disciples, usually you hear 2 chief disciples because you always hear Sariputta and Mahamoggallana. That's true. You always hear that. But there are also 2 chief
Remember, there was a woman while walking down a temple. The Buddha's power, like she made a human trying like this, and then she made that woman slowly age, and then while she was seeing the woman slowly age, Tama was at the temple to admire the beauty, and then finally when the statue was woman was very old, she collapsed. And then when Kema saw that, she decided to become the chief disciple, right?
Very good. Wow, Minlok, that's a very good story. Yeah, that's right. So Venerable Kema Bhikkhuni, she was someone who was very attached to her beauty. Yeah, she cares about her beauty a lot. So the Buddha used his powers to show the process of aging and death of a woman. So this woman was very beautiful, this image that the Buddha created. And so Kema was very enraptured by this image, by this woman, because she was so beautiful. And then slowly the Buddha makes this woman grow old and die and collapse. You know what Minlok says, collapse. And then Venerable Kema realizes the truth of impermanence. Okay, so the 2 chief disciples you usually hear are Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, which is true. 2 chief disciples, but they are the 2 male chief disciples. But the Buddha also had 2 female chief disciples, who are Venerable Kema and Venerable Upalavana. Okay, so Sariputta and Kema are the male and female disciples who are foremost in wisdom, panya, and Mahamoggallana and Upalavana are the male and female chief disciples who are foremost in supernatural power or psychic powers, Iddhi, supernatural power. Okay, so these are the 4 chief disciples of the Buddha. Okay, now I actually wanted to tell a story of all these disciples, but we don't have time. So this is your homework for the week. Find out about these disciples. Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, Mahakassapa, Ananda, Rahula, Upali, and Angulimala. I'll give a very brief description of all the seven disciples. Yeah, very brief. But next week, hopefully, we can go into more stories. Yeah. Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, the story, Minlok has told us the story just now. So Sariputta, before he was called Sariputta, he was called Upatissa, right? Minlok, you said the name correctly. Upatissa. Upatissa and Moggallana, they are good friends. They both decide to learn the Dhamma. They both decide to seek the deathless, seek the unconditioned, seek liberation together. So they were practicing under another teacher before the Buddha. They were practicing under another teacher. But Sariputta, well, Upatissa, he wasn't Sariputta yet. Upatissa met Assaji. Assaji is one of the first 5 disciples of the Buddha, remember? So Assaji explained the teaching in a very brief stanza, in a very brief poem. Explain it to Upatissa. And upon hearing just the first 2 lines of the stanza, Upatissa got awakened at the first stage of enlightenment, Sotapanna. So Upatissa went to Mahamoggallana and said, I have reached the deathless, I've attained the deathless. Come with me, let's learn and practice the Dhamma together under the Buddha Gautama. So they also went to the Buddha Gautama to learn, right? And after that, they became, so the name changed for Upatissa, changed to Sariputta, and these 2 became the chief disciples of the Buddha. Now, Sariputta and Mahamoggallana also went back to their teacher, their previous teacher, their former teacher, and also invited the teacher to learn the Dhamma. But the teacher said no. Why did the teacher say no? Anyone wants to guess? Anyone can unmute yourself? Anyone wants to guess? Why did their former teacher say no?
Is it because he has the wrong view?
He has the wrong view, that's correct. But more specifically, why? Anyone wants to try to guess? Brian, go for it.
Is it because he wanted to be worshipped?
Something close to that. Something close to that. The answer is because the teacher says, I don't need the Buddha. I already have so many disciples. You know, you go and follow the Buddha. I don't want to follow the Buddha. I don't want to be a disciple. I have so many. I want to be the teacher. You know, so I've already have so many disciples. I don't need to follow you. You too, you can go and follow Buddha. But I don't. I want to be. I have so many disciples. You know, if I go to follow the Buddha, I will lose all my disciples. I will lose all my followers. You know. So Sariputta and Mahamoggallana said, okay, well, you know, you can continue being the teacher. We will be the disciples of the Buddha, because the Dhamma taught by the Buddha leads to Nibbana. It leads to the deathless, the unconditioned. Mahakassapa is the disciple who is foremost in ascetic practice, foremost in the Dhuttanga practice, ascetic practice. Okay, Ananda is the disciple of the Buddha, foremost in learning, foremost in memory. He remembers the suttas that were taught by the Buddha, and in the first council, he was reciting from memory all the teachings of the Buddha, the suttas of the Buddha. Now, Mahakassapa was also the one who convened the first Sangha council after the Parinibbana of the Buddha. So he was the leader, or you might say the president of that first council, you know, the leader of the first council. Okay. Now, Rahula was the son, the biological son of the Buddha. Okay. Upali is the disciple of the Buddha, foremost in Vinaya, foremost in the monastic
Upala is not the Siddhartha Gautama's son. They only have one son. Then
yeah, Rahula is the son.
Upali is his son.
Upali is not the son. Rahula is the son. Yeah. Upali is the disciple of the Buddha, foremost in Vinaya, foremost in the monastic discipline. That one is Upali. Okay. And then Angulimala is the one who was previously a serial murderer. He was killing. Brian said Ananda Tachiasa. No, Ananda is Anand, yes. Tachiasa is Mahakassapa, Brian. Tachiasa is Mahakassapa. Okay. Now, Angulimala was a serial murderer. He was killing many people because he had wrong view, right? He was misled by his evil teacher. Okay, he was killing many
At
people.
the Texas University, in order to him to pay this bill, you need to chop off 1,000 fingers.
Yes, very good. So in the university, or well, in the academy or the university, well, in those days they don't have universities, but in the school of higher learning at Takasila, what Milok says, right? The University of Takasila, Angulimala, the previous name of Angulimala. What is the previous name of Angulimala? Anyone write it there? Previous name? What is the original name, the birth name of Angulimala? Anyone knows? You can type in the chat. Yes, Minlok, you can say the answer.
Opposite from his name. That means, yeah, he's innocent, but actually he was not innocent. So that name means different. And it's
yeah. Ahingsaka. Thank you, Minlok. Ahimsa means non-violence. Non-violence. Ahimsa. Ahingsaka means someone who is gentle, someone who is innocent, someone who is non-violent, someone who is non-harming. You know, that's called ahingsaka. Ahimsa, non-violence, non-harm. Okay.
She will
But,
touch
sorry?
her mother's finger, so she's not innocent.
Yeah. But he wasn't practicing ahimsa. He was practicing hingsa. Hingsa means violence or harm. Okay, so but after so he became known as Angulimala because he became a serial murderer. But after he met the Buddha, he decided to change his ways, to give up his old ways, to let go of his.
Shortly after.
Yeah, to let go of his violent ways of life. Okay, so this is a short description of the 7 disciples. There are many other disciples, but I think for the junior level, these disciples are for the preliminary level, I think these are the main ones you need to know. For the junior level, I think you also need to know some lay disciples, Upasaka and Upasika. For example, you need to know about Anatta, Pintika, and so on. But these are the main ones for the preliminary level, yeah? So junior level, we can go into more detail the next time, okay? Good. Now, let us play a game of Kahoot. Does everyone know how to play Kahoot? Kahoot. If you know how to play Kahoot, you can play along. If you don't want to play, it's fine. But these are all the preliminary questions. Because we don't have enough time, let's just do a very few questions only. Because we don't have time. Okay. So I'll launch my Kahoot game. Let me launch it. We'll play Kahoot now. So all of you, please go to kahoot.it on your computer or on your phone. We'll play a game of Kahoot. Just a few questions because we don't have time. Okay. Hang on, yeah, I'm loading. Yeah, hang on. I'm loading. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. Let me share my screen now. Then you can see the game pin. All right. Okay, so type your name. Type the game pin 6268477. Type in your name. Yeah, type in your name, and then we'll just do variations. Maybe about 5 questions or 8 questions. The top three students will be named at the end of the game. Yeah, test your quiz, test your level of knowledge, then you can play this game. However, this is only the preliminary. You need to learn more. Okay. All right, I'll wait for 1 more minute. Okay, 1 more minute. Yeah. If you need more time, please let me know. Please type in the chat. Minlok says, "Let's go." Okay, so Minlok is clearly very excited about Kahoot. Yeah. All right. Does anyone need more time? If you need more time, please type yes in the chat. Like you need more time. You can type.
May I please go to the toilet?
Yeah, please. Go ahead, please. Yeah, if you need more time, please type in the chat, please. Yeah. Okay, no need more time, so I can start the game already. Okay, some people. Okay, let's wait for 30 more seconds. Let's wait for 30 more seconds. We have 33 people, 34 people in the game. We have about 40 plus participants, but it's okay. It's up to you whether you want to join the quiz. Okay, let's wait for 20 more seconds. 20 more seconds.
Whether we can, do you want to wait for Alina? Because she went to toilet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe she needs some time lah. Yeah.
She's back. Okay, let's go. Let's start. All right, let's start. All right, okay. I'm going to start the game, yeah? Let's start now. A great sage named Asita visited the infant. Asita was also known as the answer is Kala Devala. The answer is Kala Devala. Yeah. Okay, let's see who is the top. Top student so far is Erlina. Wow. Erlina, Sister Mary Ann, Chia Jiening, Hui Tian, and C. I'm not sure who is C, but okay. Let's go to the next question. Who approached the Bodhisattva when he was almost on the verge of death? Answer Mara. Answer Mara. Okay, let's see who is top
teacher,
now.
was he really almost at the verge of death?
Yeah, he was almost on the verge of death. He was practicing the.
Yeah, but he didn't fall for it.
He didn't fall for it.
He's still starving for it.
Yes, he was practicing the path of
He's
self-mortification.
still starving after Mara tries to stop him.
Yeah, okay. So he was practicing the path of self-mortification, and he almost died. If he continues, he would have died. But he stopped. Luckily, he stopped. He realized that this is not the right way. This is not the way to true happiness. This is not the way to Nibbana. Okay, so he stopped. He changed his way. And then, of course, his 5 companions left him. All right, Erlina, you're still doing well. You're still on the board. Okay, let's go to the next question. What new path did the Bodhisattva adopt after he gave up the 2 extremes? This one should be easy. I think this is the easiest question.
Yes, the easiest ever.
Erlina said the easiest ever. Yep, that's right. Okay, let's go to the next one. The correct answer is the middle path. Someone answered right path and secondary path. That should not be the case. The answer is middle path, yeah, middle path. Majjhima Patipada. Majjhima Patipada. Okay, the top students are still at the top, yeah. Okay, no change in the names. The end of suffering is what is the end of suffering? The end of suffering is Nibbana. Nibbana, okay. All right.
Teacher,
Wow,
why I'm always at the 4th place?
Because you need to answer faster.
Teacher, I just answer after 1 second of the timer only.
It's okay, it's okay. No, you have to answer quickly. The faster you answer, the better. Of course, you have to answer correctly. If you answer wrong answer, also no marks. It's okay, it's okay. This is just a quiz. In the exam, you need to score. That one is more important. This quiz is, it's okay. It's not that important. Your exam is more important. Who was ordered by his enraged teacher to fetch 1,000 fingers as a token for his teachings?
Teacher, this is also kind of easy.
Yeah, it's easy if you have learned it. If you haven't done your revision, then you would not know the answer. All right. The correct answer is Angulimala. Angulimala. Yeah.
See, I'm at the 4th place again. I'm still in 10th place, even though it's 3 rounds.
Sister Mary Ann and HY and Saw Meili are too fast already. Erlina, you have to be faster than them.
I'm at the 10th place for 3 rounds.
Okay, we have 3 more questions. T Sarana is the Pali term for? T Sarana is 3 refuges. T means 3, Sarana means refuge. Okay, we have 2 more questions. Oh, Sister Elena, you're up. You're 2nd place. Now you just need to beat Sister Mary Ann. Okay, we have about 2 more questions. Yeah, 2 more questions. Bhagavatu means?
This one I'm not really sure.
Choose the closest one. Choose the closest answer. The Holy One or the Blessed One. Yeah, the Holy One, the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the Fortunate One. These are all different translations. So Bhagava refers to the Buddha. We call the Buddha Bhagava. We say Namo Tassa Bhagavato. There are different ways to translate the word. Usually you hear the word the Blessed One, right? The Blessed One, the Fortunate One, the Exalted One, the Respected One, the Honored One, you know, the Holy One. Yeah, okay. Good. Last question. Wait, let's see who is. Oh no, Sister Elena, you dropped to 4th place. WOL, not bad. You've climbed up to 3rd place. Okay, last chance, everyone. This is the last question, yeah? I gave the answer just now. I mean, in the tutorial, I already said the answer. The Buddha taught his first sutta at the deer park at Isi Patana. Okay, most of you got it right. 6 of you say Kapila Vatu. That's not correct. Yeah? Kapila Vatu is the hometown of the Buddha. He grew up. You know, the Siddhartha Gautama grew up in Kapila Vatu, but Isi Patana is where his 5 disciples, the 5 former companions, were there. Okay. Now let's look at the final score. I don't know who is the top 3. What are the top 3? I don't know. WOL, number 3.
Teacher, I'm number 9. Then...
Elena, number 9. Number 2 is Someli, and number 1 is Mary Ann. Sister Mary Ann, well done. Congrats. Okay, so these are only 8 questions. These are only 8 questions. The runners-up, number 4 is KM. Number 5 is Brother Lim Yu Kang. Okay, but these are only 8 questions. Don't worry, guys. In your exam, there are many, many more questions. So if you want to try more questions in your exam, you can try more, yeah? Okay, so that is actually... Wait, let me stop sharing. That is the end of the session. Now, anyone wants to ask questions? Wait, let me share my screen first. Let me see if I have any other slides. Okay, after this slide, what is this slide? Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. That's the last slide. So we have gone through a few things, the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, a few things, but there are still a few more items in the syllabus to cover. So I'll do that next week, yeah. So just to let you know, this is I am from the Putra Heights Buddhist Society Youth Fellowship, and I'm also representing MYTTA. Oh, I didn't include the name of a YBM here, so okay, sorry, but it's okay. Next week I'll include the YBM's name on the slide. So this program, this tutorial, this English study group is brought to you by MYTTA, the youth arm of TBCM, and YBAM, KL, and Selangor SLC. All right, the Young Buddhist Association of Malaysia, KL, and Selangor State Liaison Committee. Okay, so these 2 organizations are collaborating to bring you this English study group. So I hope you can, express your appreciation, and also you can follow us, right? Look at our Facebook page, and also you can also check out our other events. All right, cool. So that's the end of the session. Thank you so much for attending. If you have questions, you can ask now. You can type in the Zoom chat, or you can ask now. So if you need to leave, you can leave. But if you have questions, now is the time to ask. Yeah, especially if you have done some past year questions and you are not certain about some of the answers. So please ask your question now. Ask your questions now. Yes. Any questions? Anyone? All right. Yes. Brother Wong Chiwa. Yes. Brother Chiwa has sent the Facebook page of YBM, KL Selangor SLC, and also the Facebook page of TBCM into the Zoom chat. You can check out the Facebook page, and you can follow some of our events and other programs as well. All right, cool. Okay, are there any questions? Yeah. So I hope that you all will continue to do your practice. Yeah, do your practice, your past year questions. Continue to practice your past year questions. And if there are any more questions in the past year that you want to clarify, yeah, you want to ask, please, you can bring it to the class, bring it to the tutorial to ask us, or you can also type into the WhatsApp group. Type your question into the WhatsApp group. Okay. Cool. Okay. Sister Saw Mei Lee, there is no marking scheme for the senior stage paper, unfortunately. There is no marking scheme. You just have to answer the questions right. Let me give a short explanation. You cannot write in point form. Don't write in point form. Write full sentences. Write complete sentences. Yeah. And then just write the key points, answer the question, write the key points like the textbooks. Yeah, that's the way to do it. We don't have a marking scheme. Can I have past year question for 2019 and 2020? If it's not in the folder, then I don't have it. Yeah, we might, yeah, I don't have the latest ones. If it's not in the folder, then I don't have it. What I have is only the folders. Yeah. But if you have done all the past year before 2019, I would say you are good to go lah. You are quite ready for the exam. Yeah. If you have done all the past year papers before 2019, I would say you're good to go. You are prepared for the exam. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. If there are no questions, we can end this. For those of you who need to leave, no problem. It's actually at the end already. I just want to say a big thank you for all of you who are actually practicing your past year questions and also trying to learn the teachings of the Buddha. Just as a closing remark, yeah. When we practice the past year questions and we're trying to score in the exam, of course we want to find out the correct answer. The correct answer. Especially we also want to find out the correct answer according to the examiner, right? So that we can do well, right? Score good results in the exam. I understand that, which is true. I encourage you to do that. However, more important than getting the correct answers, is to understand how these teachings and how this knowledge can impact our lives, can transform our lives. So I hope that you approach your learning experience with that mindset, with that attitude, with that perspective. Okay, learn to investigate how this knowledge can transform our practice, transform our lives. Okay, so I hope that all of you are eager, are excited, yeah, to learn the Dhamma and also to do well in the exams. Okay, good. Sadhu, sadhu, everyone. Good effort, and good night for those of you who are leaving. Any more questions? What is the passing score, Sister Wendy? I'm not sure what is the passing score, yeah, but it depends on the group. It's not it's every year. It might not be the same passing score. Yeah, it depends on the group, right? It's like a graph system where you have the group as a whole. But usually it's around. Usually you have to at least score half the questions correctly. You have to get half the questions correct in order to pass. Usually it's like that. Okay, Sister Wendy? Yeah, Brian, you said the bell curve. That's correct. Sister Wendy, you got my answer, yeah? Okay, now let me answer a question earlier that was asked by wait. Someone asked a question earlier. Let me scroll up, yeah. It's about karma, I think. Someone asks, yeah, may I know what is the concept of karma in life? Brother or sister Gan Yu Jun, are you here? If you are here, you can unmute yourself and maybe explain your question a little bit, because I'm not sure what question are you asking, or what answer are you looking for? Brother or sister Gan Yu Jun, are you able to unmute yourself to explain your question? What is the concept of karma? What do you mean? Okay, I'll start with a short explanation first. Then if you need more clarification, you can ask lah. Yeah. Okay. Now the word karma means actions. Karma means actions. The law of karma is sometimes called karma vipaka. Vipaka means fruits or results. Fruits or results. I'm typing in the chat, yeah. Sorry. Karma is not vipaka. Sorry. This is wrong. wait, I'm typing in the chat. This is incorrect. Karma is actions. Karma is actions, not, yeah. Okay. Karma vipaka means actions and consequences. Karma, the word karma means actions, what you do. There are 3 doors of karma. The 3 doors of karma are the mind door, the verbal door, and the body door. So your actions in your mind, actions in your speech, and actions in your body. So that is karma. Your mental acts, your verbal acts, and your bodily acts, your physical acts. So for example, if you think a wrong thought, let's say you are jealous, you have jealousy, all right? You are jealous of someone's good fortune or someone's success. That is jealousy. That is a wrong mental act. Okay, that is bad karma, for example. So the concept of karma is that actions have consequences. Actions have consequences. The consequences of actions are proportionate to the ethical nature of the actions. If it's a morally good act, then it has a favorable consequence. If it's a morally evil act, then it has a negative consequence. So the ethical nature, is it ethically good or ethically bad? Is it morally good or morally evil? So that is the concept of karma. Okay, I mean, that's a very short explanation, but if you want more clarification, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask for more clarification. Okay, anyone else has any question? Erlina, are you enjoying the session, the tutorial? Okay, yeah, that's nice, that's nice. Sister Mary Ann asks, is swastika one of the Buddhist symbol? This one, how to answer? The short answer is yes, yes. Sometimes you see that swastika used as a Buddhist symbol, that's correct. But it is not the most prominent symbol. Yeah, not everyone uses it. Some people use the swastika as a Buddhist symbol, that's correct. But the more prominent Buddhist symbol is the Noble Eightfold Path, which is the wheel of Dhamma. You know, that one is a more common symbol. It's a more prominent symbol. Swastika, I'm not sure. Yeah, Brother Chiwa, thank you. Yeah, that one is the symbol for the Noble Eightfold Path. Now, I'm not sure what is the history of the swastika symbol. I'm actually not sure. Maybe you can do some research and you can let us know, because I understand that there's a history behind the use of the swastika symbol for Buddhism, but I can't remember why. Like I'm not very clear about the history, but I know there's a history behind it. Yeah, but I know that some people use it as a Buddhist symbol. Yeah.
Because what happened is that when I was doing the past year papers, right, I noticed that they didn't include swastika as one of the answer, but I think it's like, you know, I don't think Theravāda use swastika lah, I think lah. But in Mahayana, you know, you will see the on the Buddha's chest. So I included swastika, but it was not one of the answer. So I was a bit.
Oh, okay. So the suggested answer is wrong, is it? This one is tricky lah. This one is really tricky. Hard to say.
Include swastika lah.
Yeah, definitely the swastika has been used by Buddhists. Definitely, there's a history behind it. But I'm not sure what the question is looking for lah. Maybe maybe because not everyone recognizes it as a Buddhist symbol. You understand what I mean? Like, not everyone recognizes it. So
yeah, I mean, it's like, I think
it's a tricky question.
They said Hinduism also use swastika. Maybe
correct.
It kind of like used by many.
Yeah, used by many. You're right. You're right. So it's very it's
but
it's
because
tricky
it's MCQ, right? It's like should I or should I include?
I don't know. I know. I know.
It's just like Brother Chiwa said, it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a tricky question. It's a tricky question.
There are a few tricky questions, you know.
You're right. There are a few tricky questions because we don't know what the examiner is looking for. You know, like, is it from a historical perspective or is it from a specific tradition, like from Theravāda, Mahayana? You know, it's very tricky. Yeah, sometimes I don't like some of the questions. I don't like them. It's a bit poorly worded, I would say. But well, I'm not the one setting the questions, so.
No, can you be the one?
Can I be the one setting the question? This one I have to wait for my promotion. Maybe one day they promote me to the examiner level.
You were. Thanks.
Yeah. I would say if there are some tricky questions, then it's out of our control. We can't help it. So at least the non-tricky questions are the clear ones are at least you get those correct. The tricky questions we just try our best, but we try our best, but sometimes we might not, we might not get it right because of the question, the nature of the question. But we try. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for your questions. You have been asking a lot of questions, Marianne, which is good. I appreciate all these highlights. You're highlighting all the tricky questions. What I will do is I will compile all these questions and I will bring it to the organizer. I'm not sure whether the organizer also knows the answer, but I will try to ask. I'll try to ask, but whether or not they can help, I don't know. Yeah. Good effort. Yeah. Sister Marianne, you are doing senior level or junior level?
Junior level.
Okay. Junior level. Okay. That's good. Some of you are doing senior level, right? I need to, yeah. For those of you who are doing senior level questions, you can talk to me personally also. You can WhatsApp me personally if you want more help. Because or maybe, yeah, I was thinking of doing some notes, so I haven't done it, but I was thinking of writing some notes for the senior stage questions, maybe some of the key questions, because they like to ask questions about the virtues of the Buddha, the virtues of the Dhamma, the virtues of the Sangha. They like to ask those questions. Maybe I can write out some notes to share with you guys. But I'm sure all of you are very smart. You guys also can look at the textbooks and also do your own notes. I'm sure all of you also have the ability to do that. But we can help each other. You must support each other. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Yeah, need to develop your memory as well. Yeah, you have to learn from Ananda. If you complain that there's too much to remember, don't forget Ananda. Ananda had to remember all the teachings of the Buddha and recite it at the first council. Yes, Sister Mary Ann, you were going to say?
No, I don't think I can hit that. Too much.
When I was a student, a school student, I was complaining about all these sejarah and all these science studies, like, I said, why do all these prime ministers and all these leaders of the past, why do they have to do so many things? I have to remember all these sejarah questions. I have to remember all this historical knowledge. Then I complain, complain. And then I say, why do all these scientists, Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, why do they have to do so many experiments? Now I have to remember all the laws of physics, all the laws of biology and chemistry, So I said, all the physics laws, like Boyle's law, and what other laws? Newton's laws, Boyle's law, and so on. There are all these different laws, Charles' law, and so on. All these different laws, because all these scientists try to do all these things. Then sometimes when I learn the Dhamma, also I think, why did the Buddha have to talk so much? Talk for 45 years. I had to try to remember so many things. But when I grew older, I realized that all these great leaders of the past, they have their reasons. All these great accomplishments of the leaders of the past, they have their reasons. And therefore, they are trying to improve humanity. They're trying to contribute to the betterment of humankind, which is a good thing. And all these scientists, they're also trying to investigate the world, right? Investigate the universe. They're trying to improve our understanding, the humanity's understanding of the universe. These are good things, And similarly, of course, the Buddha is doing the best thing in the world. He's trying to help us realize the path to liberation, the path to true happiness. So, even though there's a lot to remember, we can also rejoice in the fact that we have all these teachings. Brothers and sisters, do you know that not all the works of the great philosophers of the past actually survive in the present? I repeat, not all the great works of the great philosophers of the past survive to the present. Let me give you a few examples. One of the great philosophers of the past, his name is Socrates. We don't have any of his teachings right now. We have some of his teachings only through his disciples. One of his disciples, the name is Plato. Plato recorded some of the teachings of Socrates, but we don't have all the teachings of Socrates. Some of them are already lost. Let me give you another example. Another great philosopher of the past, his name is Pythagoras. Some of you might remember Pythagoras because you learned mathematics in your high school, right? Pythagoras theorem, yeah, Pythagorean theorem. This is what you learn in high school. Pythagoras is a great mathematician and philosopher of the past. Yeah, in ancient Greece. But we don't have many of his teachings. Many of his teachings are already lost. We only have some of his teachings and some of his works. And even then, we have the teachings only through the disciples of him. When he was alive, when Pythagoras was alive, he has a Pythagorean society. He has a club, like a club, like a society of disciples and followers who actually practice his teachings, practice his path. But now, how many of you know someone who is following a Pythagorean way of life? Anyone? Do you have a friend who say, oh, I am in the Pythagorean society? Does anyone of you know any friend like that? Any of you know any friends who are following the teachings of Socrates? Oh, I am following the Plato way of life, the Socrates way of life. Anyone? You don't know anyone like that. There are people who study and practice the teachings of Pythagoras, the teaching of Socrates. There are people in the world today, but very few. And even then, we don't have the complete works of them. We don't have the complete record of the teachings. We have some record, some teachings, but not complete. Not complete. Because why? Because they didn't have someone like Ananda. They didn't have someone like Ananda to remember all the suttas together. They had some disciples, but the disciples couldn't remember all the teachings. They remember part of the teachings only. So the reason that we have so many teachings today by the Buddha, brothers and sisters, is because of the tireless efforts of practitioners, generation after generation. Every generation, they teach the next generation of disciples. Until today, for more than 2,000 years, the monastic and lay practitioners have kept the Dhamma alive, brothers and sisters. They have transmitted the Dhamma, the teachings, the ideas, the principles, the methods of practice all the way to our time today. That's why we have them. So it's incredible. It's incredible how much effort has gone into the preservation of the Dhamma. And today, the Dhamma is still alive. The Dhamma is still alive. So how do we honor? Yes, 传承. 传承, what Brother Chiwa said. 传承 means legacy or preservation. I'm not sure what's the right word. Preservation or maybe propagation as well. 传承, legacy, the preservation of the Dhamma, the propagation of the Dhamma. The transmission, oh yes, transmission is a better word. Transmission is the right word. Transmission is the right word for 传承. The transmission of the Dhamma. It's incredible how much effort goes into it. So how do we repay the kindness of these people who have gone before us? The answer is don't complain. The answer is don't complain. The answer is we should also keep the Dhamma alive. We should also keep the Dhamma alive. They teach the Dhamma to their students. We should also remember the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, and we should also teach the Dhamma to the next generation. If we have friends, we teach the Dhamma to our friends. If we have disciples, we teach the Dhamma to our disciples. If we have children, we teach the Dhamma to our children, so that the Dhamma will continue to be kept alive. Okay? All right, yeah, that's my short Dhamma talk. Okay, anyone has any other questions? Any more questions? Cool. Yeah, if you guys are interested in who is Pythagoras, who is Socrates, you can Google them. It's very interesting philosophers. They are one of the great Western philosophers. These are some of the philosophers who have established the foundational philosophies in the Western civilization. So they are very important figures in Western history. Okay, yeah, you can learn about them. In the Eastern history, there are also great philosophers, such as Kongzi, Laozi. You know, Laozi is one of the great philosophers. Kongzi, Confucius, also one of the great philosophers in the East, in Eastern history, in Eastern philosophy. Now, Kongzi, Confucius also has disciples to carry on his teachings. Yeah, so today we actually have people who follow the teachings of Confucius. 就是孔子 is 儒家吗？ Yeah, 儒家。
对，儒家。
儒家，对，儒家思想，孔子孟子 these are all 儒家思想。There are actually followers who actually follow the teachings of Confucius. So you can actually learn from them if you want to learn the teachings of Confucius. Yeah. Okay. 儒家思想, correct. Yes. Okay, any more questions? If no more, that's it. Okay. If no more, that's it. So I'll just, okay, that's the end. All right.